Hey, Jupiter from Manlius, New York here. Founder of Autism Adjacent and father of autistic son. Harlan is has always been intriguing to me as far as children go because he is the sixth child between me and my fiance. I have two stepchildren. I have four of my own. Only one with my fiance, and that was Harlan. And he has been nothing but different and amazing and joyful. And part of being an autistic parent is learning about your children and learning like how they are different. And because I have so many other kids, like because we have so many other kids, we were able to see a lot of the differences in Harlan before they became a real thing. And we were able to get him diagnosed at the age of 2. The story is on www.autismadjacent.com. That could be where you're finding me, or this might be you might be finding me on YouTube. But either way, I highly encourage you to check it out. I'm trying to build a community of parents and autistic people that dialogue and communicate and talk, because the way we learn things in this world is by talking. And so today, what I have for you is my Rubik's cube. My Rubik's cube is turned into a parable for me of dealing with my child. And the reason why that is because whenever I'm stressed out and I just want to kind of get a mind release, this is what I do. I go and I solve a Rubik's cube. I took me 2 months to solve it. It was hard and very difficult. And as you can see, like there's just like these things are kind of daunting when you look at them and craziness, right? And like below my picture here, you see these are all the algorithms that I'm going to use in solving this in this cube, and this is what I was dealt with. Like this is my shorthand notes of the algorithms that I use. There are some little things that go and nuances that go with these algorithms, but not much different. But what I'm going to do is kind of want to tell you like what it is to me as a parent to be a parent of an autistic child, and how the Rubik's cube is kind of an analogy, a parable for me. So I don't know if you'll enjoy this or not, but hopefully you will. And we'll just get started. So the first thing with a Rubik's cube is understanding what you have, the pieces that you have, right? And much like any child, there are things that don't change. And then on Rubik's cube, it's the yellow side is always opposite the white side. They're on an axis, basically they don't move. Same with the green and the blue and the orange and the red. They're all on this axis, like this XY axis, that basically never shifts. And so that is the constant in the Rubik's cube. That is the thing that never changes, no matter what you do to the Rubik's cube, unless you take it apart and put it back together and just decide to change the color sequence. But on a standard Rubik's cube, that is the story. You have yellow, white, blue, green, orange, red on opposite sides of each other. So with that said, the first thing that anybody in a Rubik's Cube needs to do is find the yellow dot and make what they call the daisy. The daisy is basically when you make the pieces on the Rubik's Cube besides the centers are the edges, which are these pieces that are not on the corners. So you have edges and corners. Pretty simple, right? Not hard to deal with, right? This is the same on every Rubik's Cube, doesn't change no matter what. You have edges and corners. So first thing I want to do is find the yellow dot. So this is kind of like I compare this part, finding the yellow dot and creating the daisy is what we're going to call it. And basically that means to put all four white edge pieces on the same side as this, and then you have to also match them with the centers to basically transform this into a white cross. So with that said, let's go ahead and build this daisy. I'm going to basically just start to move the pieces to where they need to be. As you can see, like this will come with time. Like when you do it yourself, it'll come with time. See, you have a piece here. So what we're going to do is just going to rotate this here and this. So this is the daisy. So now I've identified the first part, the first step. This is like when you first decide that you're going to have your child tested for autism. Arlen, when he was young, used to like watch fans and be very fixated on things and stuff. And it wasn't until around 2.5, he hadn't really started talking or doing any kind of speech type movements with his vocabulary, and we had concerns. So we had to figure that out. And once we figured that out, we had to put everything in line. So what you'll see here is the blues are in line, so I could flip them around. The red is not, so we're going to put them in line. Flip those around, put the green on the green, flip that around, and the orange on the orange, and then we're going to flip that around. So now our daisy has turned into a white cross, and all the things are in line with the center. And that's the first part of getting diagnosed, is that you have to put all the pieces together and figure out the base of what it is. And for Harlan, it was autism. So in my Zen moments, like I think about this when I do the when I do the daisy and and I transform it into the white cross. I know that was step one. That's a step that we've already done. We've already got established. Step two is to now complete the first layer of autism. So we've identified that there is autism, and basically we wanted to, um, get things moving in the direction that we wanted to get moving. So for that, to understand it, we have to go through level one. Level one is understanding the basics of how everything is done. And for me, like that means that I have to get level one solved. So I need to get all this white and all these matched. So the way you do that is you look at corners, they match up to the centers, right? So again, we go back to the core of the cube that never changes, and we start to identify the pieces that fit. So when we have those pieces fit, we do these algorithms, right? Right now I'm doing a right-handed algorithm that got stuck a little bit because this is getting, I do it so much, it's getting kind of loose. And now you see that I've moved the corner piece now into the bigger picture, and it's in the right spot. So the important part is making sure we get them in the right spot, right? So you see green, red, so that white needs to come here, so that'll be an easy one. And now it looks like, hey, we're done. We have the first layer situated. So you see here all the bottom layer is the same. The centers are still the centers. They're still the core of what we're working on. With autism, that means getting diagnosed, getting help, starting with us in New York. We put him into the school district. The school district started running tests. We got him on an IEP, which is an individualized educational plan. And we basically got him rolling in preschool to try to overcome some of the language barriers and the social barriers that he's having. Intellectually, he's brilliant. Like he does a lot of things really well, but there's other things he just doesn't do well. So that was layer one, and we figured that out, and we got him moving. Layer two is a little bit trickier now because we have to take what we learned from layer one and we need to build on that, right? In autism, that's what I take from that. But so the first thing we need to do on a Rubik's Cube is we need to set the edges. And setting the edges with Harlan, we're basically starting to learn the boundaries and the differences that come with him being autistic versus at least I had a reference point in my other children where I was able to compare a little bit and contrast the style that was what I was accustomed to versus what he was. So as you can see here, I'm at a point where I have all the yellow edges. I don't have those mix and match edges, so I didn't explain what I was doing, but this is wrong. So I have to choose to fix that, and to choose to fix that, I have to mess things up a little bit and basically reset a couple of the pieces here. So bear with me. It was a little bit off, so you should, anytime you do this, like when you make six similar moves, it goes to the same thing. So, all right, so now we're gonna do this. All right. So now what I did is to set the edges, you need to take the colored piece on the front, match it, take this orange piece, move it away, which is away from the group that it goes to, and then you have to move it to the group. And you move it to the group by doing the sequence that I just did, and you can see now that we've solved layer two. Pretty basic for me, probably complicated from you, but literally all I'm using are these right and left-handed algorithms at this point. I haven't done anything different other than a couple of turns of the cube and knowing where I need to go with it. As an autistic parent, the more you do something, the more routine it becomes, the easier it gets for you, and that is something that comes with time, and patience sometimes is difficult, as we all know. So now what I need to do is I need to get ready to solve this third layer. And to solve the third layer, I have to kind of push into my other layer, right? So in doing that, I'm still doing the same algorithms. Oops, back thing, but I'm working to get the yellow cross set. So I got my yellow cross set. So now I need to set my edge pieces. I'm not lucky enough to have them all set, but I do have two of them set, and they're adjacent to each other. Therefore, I can put them to the side. This is again like part of the puzzle of learning how to solve your child is to learn your child, and the more you interact with them and the more you do things with them, the more it comes together. So now you have orange, blue, red, and green, and like you see, they're all lined up on the center pieces and the crosses. So um, now I have to basically look and fix the corners now to get this right and set this yellow piece right. So we're still working on phase 3. So blue, orange, that's definitely not right. Red, blue, that's definitely not right. Green, red, definitely not right. Green, orange, oh, I did all this work and it seems so far away, like nothing is the same or nothing is right. So what we have to do is we have to look in deeper and get into a more complicated. So to get to this point, I just used the push algorithm, and now I'm going to use this dodge algorithm, which is one that you guys won't understand, but it's basically up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, left counterclockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, left clockwise. Seems like a lot, right? But it really isn't. But once you get used to it, it becomes easier. So now you see this corner is set. This corner still is not. This corner is not. And this corner is not. And that's how it should be. So we're going to keep this corner to the front right. And I have to do it again because if at first you don't succeed, persistence is the key. And so now you see I have red orange, I have orange blue, I have green orange, I have red green. Makes no sense to you guys how I'm getting this done, but I'm getting it done because I've done this before and the practice is real. Now with that said, I'm very close to being finished. I have to just finish up this last side now, and I have to turn these corners. And to turn these corners, I have to turn everything upside down. My world gets turned upside down again. Um, and it's going to happen to you in your journey as a parent, right? The parable here is that it's going to get tricky and it's going to get hard. So what we're going to do here now is I'm going to set these pieces, and to set these pieces, uh, I have to make sure that I don't mess up. And not to mess up means I have to make sure that I am doing the process in full. There's 4 steps on this top part, and this is the part that I went wrong with the most whenever I was doing that, is that I was not doing the last turn on the top to get the pieces in the right place. But you see, everything is in chaos again, and that's part of being an autism. Because the truth is that when you stay persistent with autism and you keep pushing, in the end, everything falls together. And that, to me, is the analogy of the Rubik's Cube for an autistic parent. You have to stay the course. You have to do the right things. You have to do it in the right order. Do not be scared if you make a mistake to go back and fix it and start over and reassess the things that you have. You are the most important thing to these children, and the most important thing to these children is to basically make sure that they are loved, make sure that you care for them, and make sure that you push them to be the best version of themselves that they could be. It's really no different from your other children, except that you have to get out of your comfort zone and out of your mold and listen to what it is that they are trying to accomplish. A lot of these kids have a lot of talent and a lot of things to offer the world if you just help them find their voice. And that's what we're here at Autism Adjacent to do, is to learn together, to walk together, and to always, always, always love one another and support. So if you haven't already, please visit www.autismadjacent.com. Leave comments, read the articles, watch the videos. I write all kinds of things there and stuff. It's my capstone for my master's degree at Full Sail University. I have videos. I'm trying to do as much as I can. I have a Discord, which only has one person in it at this point, but the Discord idea is for all you autistic people that don't necessarily want to talk to people in person and you want a voice, just come there and hang out and talk. Like, you can do it typing there, you can do it verbally. If you get comfortable with people, you can do videos with them. Like, Discord is a wonderful tool for communication. So I'm trying to give every method you possibly could have. If anything, I'm your friend. I'm a person that wants to know you, care about you greatly. And even if I don't know you yet, like, come and get to know me, and I promise you won't be disappointed. I can listen when you need me to listen. I will give advice when I need to give advice. I'm still learning myself. I'm not perfect. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a person of over amounts of, you know, real value as far as figuring out anything, but I do care. And one thing you can get from me is love, and that's what the key to this world is, I think. And if anything that I want to teach my son, if I ever something ever happens to me and he's watching this video and I've passed away, or something, is that I always loved my son, and I always had the highest beliefs that he could accomplish whatever it is that he wants to accomplish. The same with any of my other kids. So. Um, yeah, that's just straight from the heart talk. And I hope that you enjoyed my parable, and I hope that you enjoyed the Rubik's Cube. If you want to learn how to do a Rubik's Cube, I could teach you. Just hit me up, get on my Discord, and I will walk you through it. It's not as hard as it looks once you get used to it. But all the tools are right there. That's all you need. What is written underneath me here. So that's all I got. And thank you for tuning in. Hope this was entertaining.